Jay Thornton here again with American Gymnast, and if you're watching this video, you have probably decided that you need a narrow style of girls uneven bar dowel grips. As you can see on our website below, there are still quite a few grips for you to choose from, so you're basically choosing between brands at this point. But there are some subtle differences between each of the grips that we want to point out to hopefully help you in making your final purchasing decision. So let's take a look at the website, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sort the grips by manufacturing name A to Z. And first on the list are the English Bulldog grips. You'll see here that there are the narrow uneven bar grips, and then there are the Kipper grips, both sets that the English Bulldog makes. The difference between these two, English Bulldog came out with the narrow grips quite a few years ago and just recently introduced the Kipper grips in 2008. The Kipper grip, the palm of this grip is skinnier than the palm of the English Bulldog narrow grips. The palm of the Kipper grips is more like the palm on the grips of the Hot Shot and the Just Right grips that we'll talk about in a second here. You'll also note that the English Bulldog narrow grips have a double buckle closure. And then in the Kipper grips, the buckle closure is actually a single buckle. In the Kipper grips, because the palm of the grip is skinnier, the dowel is also not as long, and it's also slightly smaller in diameter than the dowel on the English Bulldog narrow grips. Okay, so moving down to the Hot Shot grips. The Hot Shot grips actually are our best-selling grip in the narrow style of uneven bar grips. And there's a couple of big differences between this grip and the English Bulldog Kippers and the Just Right grips that we'll talk about in a second. But the Hot Shot grips, they come in the Velcro closure and the single buckle closure, but you'll notice that this has a little bit of padding that's sewn into the lining of the cuff of the grip. The Velcro has that same padding in there too. You can see a little bit better in this picture. There's actually, it's kind of like a neoprene padding that's sewn into the cuff of the grip, making it a little bit more comfortable for the athlete. You also notice the elastic bands here that are wrapped around the dowel. That's to help lock the fingers into the holes of the grip. The rubber band will, the fingers will go through the holes, the rubber band will wrap around the other side and then come back and wrap around to help lock to prevent the fingers from slipping out of the grip. So those are two of the main differences between this style of grips and the other style that you see there. The Just Right grips are the next style, the next brand of narrow style grips, and we just introduced these into our lineup of narrow grips not too long ago, and already they're gaining some traction in our store. But you'll see here that they are actually offered in three different types of closures. You have the double buckle, the single buckle, and the Velcro strap as well. And these are a well-made grip, and like I said, they're gaining some popularity in our store. The last style of grip are the Millennium grips, and these are actually, we classify them as a narrow style because the palm of the grip, let's click on one of them here, tapers in the middle. You'll see it's not cut straight down like a regular width grip. It actually tapers in the middle, so we do call it a narrow style grip, but it's offered in larger sizes than the other grips that I just talked about. The other grips, the Kippers, the Just Rights, and the Hot Shots, are only offered up to a size 1, but the Millenniums are actually offered from a size 00 up through a size 3. So, as a gymnast grows out of those smaller grips, they can actually, and maybe they want to keep the narrow style of grips, they can actually move up into this Millennium grip. And there's three different kinds of Millennium grips. There's the Millennium 1, which are offered in a single buckle and the Velcro strap. And then there's the Millennium 2, which is identical to the Velcro version of the Millennium 1, except that you'll notice the neoprene insert. There's a padding inserted here in the wrist cuff of the grip. So that's the only difference between the Millennium 1s and Millennium 2s. So anyway, that's a quick overview of all the narrow grips that we offer. Hopefully that helps you in making your final purchasing decision.